I've been really honored to kind of connect with the entire Canadian, Parliament, government, head of state, and I've shared this on YouTube, Google, blogs, LinkedIn, everywhere. So it's very interesting to kind of know that what's going on in Toronto today is something which is real change. This real change is working. The hope and hard work of millions of Canadians is at stake. There is a future that hangs in the balance, but guess what, there has been a lot of good evidence in terms of the work that has been created. Having met one of the two team leaders from senior people from the cabinet of the Prime Minister, including Marco Mendocino and Mike Levitt, I can always say that there's been a lot of effort that has been created by this very young and government team to create the right kind of effort, the right kind of movement and change. The real change is working today. Canada is continuing to invest in affordable housing and support for first time home buyers because every Canadian deserves a safe and affordable place to call home. Move forward on implementing national pharmacare because no Canadian should have to choose between getting the prescription they need or putting food on the table. Move forward with the Canada training benefit. I actually produced a podcast sharing, the amount of effort that people need to do to kind of get themselves trained. And, I think, knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is real power. Just learning for the sake of learning for the sake of commenting, critiquing is not power. What is real power is if I have the training, if I have the skills, if I'm able to apply it, not just at a job, because, job is one specific workplace area, but if I'm able to apply it in my life, in my community, in my employment, if I'm able to ensure that human rights and dignity is addressed at my workplace, at if everybody, and millions of Canadians are able to ensure that there is, every workplace is free of workplace hazards, toxicity, safety and harassment is not something that is taken for granted. And people learn about Canada training benefit, that what are the small things they can do to kind of empower themselves. And like I told you in my last blog, I have been really thinking about Unifor, the trade unions, the automotive workers who've been impacted by a lot of changes that have happened in global employment contracts. This is the time that media has to play the role of not commenting, critiquing, or blaming leaders for the situation that people are in, but right from mail postal order clerks to automotive workers to various people who are invested in creating really big meaningful outcomes. They all need to be trained so that they could be prepared for the next 10 years, they could be prepared for the next 20 years, irrespective of what their demographic is, what their diversity is, because at the end of the day, after coming into the Hope and Hard Work campaign, I've been so involved in appreciating diversity. I look at people and I look at people, as a strength, and people are the biggest strength. People are brands, brands are people, and at the end of the day, when we work with others, we have to look at people's strengths and ensure that everybody is appreciated, respected, honored, and at the same time there is no blame game that is done when it comes to leadership. And when I look at the young leaders of the Justin Trudeau team, I feel so excited. It is a grassroots team. It is exciting, wherein people are reaching others and they're connecting and having those genuine conversations. And every time I'm part of that movement, I just feel that public affairs is a super tough job. Public affairs is a really complex job, but there is a lot of power that comes by testing leadership skills and understanding, listening and responding. It's typically about conversations, and it's about listening to things, empathizing, and at the same time responding. The last point that is very critical today is that strengthen Canada's role as a world leader in technology and support a clean growth economy to create good new jobs for Canadians and new opportunities for the middle class. And, having seen, Carolyn Bennett, who's the Minister of Indigenous Relations, and then other members including Omar Al Gebra and others. I've realized that Navdeep Bens, yeah, I've realized that they have really great commitment to growing the middle class by being very focused about technology, starting Canada Learning Code, focusing on documentation. Documentation is so critical. Today, if everybody is able to document their lives in a very honest way, they are able to kind of share it with not just their own community, but organically share it with, their home country they come from. And yeah, and so the real progress report has been attached, and I'm very excited to receive that real progress report. And I'm really committed to ensuring that you know uh, this progress report, which talks about parental sharing benefit, Canada Child Benefit, about National Pharmacare Plan, it reaches as many Canadians as possible. And I'm really committed to taking the National Pharmacare Plan and Canada Child Benefit, parental sharing benefit, home buyers incentive, and also the other tremendous educational technology resources to more number of people, so that that we have that kind of an engagement with people where people are able to understand what is the kind of benefits they have, and at the same time they are able to engage in growing and building their community. And this is something that has to come naturally, and I think it is never comes it doesn't come by force, but it comes by the simple act of love. And listening is the act of love. And if we are able to love uh people, we listen, and if we are able to listen, we will be able to lead. So thank you so much, and hope you have a great day.